about this run here for the Vanderbilt Commodores. And you mentioned that their play in the trenches has been really where they have taken that next step. They have a celebrity quarterback. We will dive into Diego Pavia. They have a steady head coach in Clark Lee. First off, Cory, let's just talk about this start overall and where this team is right now after that big win over Utah State.
Well, look, they're not the same old Vanderbilt in the fact that this team expects to win. And I think that's, one of the main differences. And, when coaches talk about a culture, one of the things is creating an expectation of wins. And you guys have seen it. I've seen it. There are teams that find a way to win and teams that find a way to lose.
Yep.
And last week's a good example for Vanderbilt. They had a number of things kind of go wrong in the first half with the officiating and some calls that didn't go their way. Utah State came in averaging 38 points a game, and they put some points on the board, but they didn't even flinch. They were tied at 14-14, and the next thing you know, it's 35-20 at the half. I mean, they just kept playing and exploded and took care of business.
Absolutely. Diego Pavia has been the talk of college football since the season started. Almost a celebrity quarterback, but he's also translating it to the football field as well. Where have you seen his development from where this team started in fall camp to where they are right now?
Well, he's no longer a nice story. He
Yes.
is one of the elite quarterbacks in all of college football, and I defy you to find 3 quarterbacks who are playing better, because I'm not going to believe you if there are.
Right.
All right? Diego is completing 75% of his passes, 94 of 126 for 1,200 yards. He had 5 touchdown passes on Saturday. I think he was the first Vanderbilt quarterback, to do that. He also leads the team in rushing at 294 yards. He's got 2 more touchdowns there, and he's just got that juice that also elevates the team. But Clark Lee talked about it after the game. He said, everybody talks about Diego for all the obvious reasons. What gets lost is how much better he is even than a year ago. He has improved in his year at Vanderbilt. He's a much better player now, a steadier player. I mean, he makes throws that not a lot of other quarterbacks make. Either they don't have the courage to do it, or he's got the ability to pinpoint and do it. And I'm quite certain he could have made more money going somewhere else in the offseason.
Absolutely. And he kind of made his presence known last year, even really the year before that when he was at New Mexico State, beat Auburn, and then last year obviously had a great run, and now they play Alabama. I feel like last year's Alabama game was the turning point where this was not a fluke. Yeah. This is not a fluke team. This is a team that is now ready to take that next step. Now that it's Alabama again, they're not going to catch anybody by surprise. Brian Williams had that comment during the offseason. They want to kill an ant with a sledgehammer. Probably eating those comments right now. Where is this team mentally as they go into this Alabama week, knowing that College Game Day is there and all the hype that's involved?
Well, look, they're not an ant. All right, they're not an ant anymore, and so my guess, will be unafraid going down there. They will look forward to going down there with an expectation to win. For Vanderbilt, this game is exciting for a couple of reasons. Number one, they think they can win, but number two, this is a game they got to have.
Yeah.
They want to make the college football playoff. If they lose this game, they get kicked to the curb, and people say, see, they weren't ready for prime time. They're a nice team, a nice story, but they're not ready to compete for one of those final 12 spots. They go to Alabama and win, and all of a sudden they're in all the shows, as a team that everybody's talking about that can make that final 12 playoff. So for Vanderbilt, I don't want to say this is a must-win because there's other wins you see there that they could get. I mean, shoot, if they lose to Alabama and then win the next 3, they're still going to be in good shape. But, 10, 13, 19, and 9, I mean, that's a tough road. But if you can go 2-2 in that stretch, you're in business.
Right.
You're in business.
Right.
And there's no better way to do that than with number one. And man, I tell you, I feel for Kalen DeBoer. The number 1 scoring team in the country is?
Who's that?
It's Florida State, scoring 53 points a game.
That's right. Wow. That's right.
And now they've got Vanderbilt scoring 49 points a game. They're the number 4 scoring team in the country. And later this season, they've got Tennessee, the number 3 scoring team in the country at 51 points a game. So that Alabama defense it has been up against it and will continue to be up against it this year. You
have handicapped these games really well as far as what Vanderbilt needs to do to be successful. You handicapped the Utah State game as it relates to this weekend and at Tuscaloosa. You're going into a hostile environment. Obviously, everybody is going to be paying attention to this matchup. What do you expect that this Vanderbilt team will need to do from an execution standpoint at Bryant-Denny to be able to come away with another win?
Well, I'm going to say something that I never thought I would say. They need to beat on them for 4 quarters.
Yeah.
I mean, Vanderbilt running the football this year. We talk about Pavia a lot, but we touched on the guys in the trenches. Guys, they're averaging 6.5 yards a carry this season. They've got, I think, 18 rushing touchdowns. So they need to keep it a game going into halftime and try to wear out that Alabama defense in the third and fourth quarter, like they did to South Carolina, like they did to Virginia Tech, and like they did to Utah State just last week. And so they just can't get overwhelmed early with the fever pitch that I'm sure is going to be there, not just because game day is there, but I'm sure Alabama's out for blood in this one. I mean, they're embarrassed by that loss last year. Alabama doesn't lose to Vanderbilt, okay? And so they will be ready and waiting. So you've got to survive that first wave, all right? And then you don't have to try to score 3 touchdowns in one play. You just got to keep playing. And Vanderbilt has shown they won't panic. They were tied with Virginia Tech at halftime. They struggled, like I said, early with Utah State for a number of reasons, and then just ended up blowing their doors off. So they just have to keep their wits about them and take the game into the fourth quarter. And if they take the game into the fourth quarter and it's a 7-point game, I like number 2.
Yeah,
I just do.
Yeah, absolutely. We talk a lot about Diego Pavia, and deservingly so. And you mentioned it. He's off to a great start, both statistically and from a leadership standpoint. If there was an X factor for this team, a guy that probably nobody is talking about right now, or even to the course of the season, but if they come away with a win on Saturday, they'll all be talking about that player. Who do you think that would be?
Well, I mean, there's a couple guys on offense because we all know Eli Stowers, but Junior Sherrill's got 5 receiving touchdowns this year. And Cedric Alexander's a good running back, but there's another back there named Macklin Young. He's only got 20 carries this year, but he's averaging 10.5 yards per carry. He's scoring once every 5 times he touches the football. And I guess the point I'm making is Vanderbilt doesn't have to do it with one guy.
Yeah.
They've got a line. They've got actual weapons. So it can be somebody that you don't expect. It absolutely can be.
Absolutely. Clark Lee has been such a steady voice, such a calm poise, and from a present standpoint. What do you think his message will be to his football team as they go in here? Because I feel like with these kind of games, you have to do almost a balancing act of being up and hyped for the moment, but also calm and steady. And I feel like they have that, their quarterback and their head coach. How do you think that he blends that message?
Well, I think you don't make the moment more than it is. It's a big game in a big environment, but they've played big games in big environments. Don't try to do too much too early. Don't just get overwhelmed with emotion when you start the football game. Play your game. You know who you are. You know you're good enough. Line up and play football. Believe in yourselves. You deserve to be here, and you're good enough.
Absolutely.
I think that's the message. He doesn't have to hype these guys up. He doesn't have to convince them that they're good enough. He just has to have them play their game. This isn't a team that commits a lot of penalties, guys.
Right.
They don't turn the football over. And if they don't commit penalties and they don't turn the football over, they're going to be in this football game. Winning at Alabama is really, really difficult. And I never in my life thought I would expect to see Vanderbilt go in with a chance to win in Tuscaloosa. But here I sit, a 54-year-old man, and I even saw the Cubs win the World Series. Now I see Vanderbilt with a chance to win in Tuscaloosa.
Hey, speaking as a Cubs fan, I'm hoping for another championship run. I'm wearing my Cubs t-shirt tomorrow, my Cubs hat, the same one I wore every playoff. It's been a few years since the playoffs, but no, I'm right there with you. We saw the Cubs win a championship, and who knows?
I'm so old, I'm looking for revenge from 1984.
Oh,
man! Why do we have to talk about baseball? I already.
Oh yeah,
I'm a Mets fan.
He's a Mets fan, so it's been a rough one.
I already had to
Man, I was really hoping the Cubs could play the Mets in the playoffs. It would have been nice to eliminate those guys.
Oh yeah, yeah. Get your revenge for 2015. I would have liked to go up against Gerhard. That sports office would have been pretty fun.
Yeah, that would have been a madhouse this upcoming week. Stepping right outside of the SEC, I actually want to ask you 2 questions. One, not about Vanderbilt, but about Tennessee and that big game there against Mississippi State. What did you make there of that effort, going into Starkville, a hostile environment, and then being able to pull away with the win there in overtime?
I think Mississippi State's a little better than everybody thinks.
Absolutely.
And I was frankly surprised with how good they were. They got 42 new players, and they're a good football team. Arian Carter was everywhere. He had 17 tackles on defense. They scored 2 defensive touchdowns, and it wasn't Joey Aguilar's best day.
Right.
But
Right.
when they had to have the drive and had to have the touchdown, he goes 6 for 6 and runs it in. I don't think enough is being made over how huge that moment is in a hostile environment on the road. Got to get 7 points against a good team, and Aguilar goes and does it. He's an excellent player.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I also want to talk about the big story of the day around the SEC. Obviously, the firing of Sam Pittman there at Arkansas, the first domino to fall in the SEC.
Oh, wow.
And I think your reaction says it all when we talk to people that are in and around Arkansas, in and around the SEC. Well, what do you make of this big decision and now the first vacancy in the league?
I mean, it shouldn't surprise us,
Yeah.
should it? But it's still, it's staggering. It's staggering. And you know, it shouldn't be because Bobby Petrino has won games,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And that's always what it comes down to is winning and losing football games. And so regardless of whatever baggage somebody may or may not have, but it just goes to show you how important winning is.
Yeah.
You know, that they're willing to, I mean, this is really one of the most embarrassing marks in Arkansas football history when he had his incident and got let go from the program. And you're so desperate to win, you're saying, come back. What are the T-shirts saying, let's ride again?
Yeah. Oh, God. I haven't seen that. That's hilarious, though.
It's just, wow. That's better than the T-shirts that I'm seeing in Nashville today. I can't even say what they say.
Oh, goodness. Well, wait, about Vandy or about the Titans?
Oh, about the Titans. They're quoting Cam Ward.
Okay.
I did see that.
I can pencil that together. I can pencil
Just
that
two
together.
words.
Yep.
I love it. I love it. All right. Score predicts for Saturday. Do you do those?
Sure, why not?
Let's do it. I love it.
Hey, what's the betting line? Do we know?
Let me pull that up because
I'm going to guess
10
it's going to
and a
be Alabama by
half.
3.5.
I think it's 10.5.
I think it's 10 and a half.
10 and a half?
10 and a half.
Is
Yeah.
that- are you kidding me?
No. Yeah. Bama's 10
Oh
and a
my
half.
gosh, I would take that all day.
Ooh, take all those
all
points.
day.
Yeah.
I'll say Vanderbilt 38-35.
Ooh. Okay.
He
All
thinks
right.
Vanderbilt's going to win again.
He's-
You know, Corey, you made a good comment earlier about, never thinking that Vanderbilt would be able to go into Tuscaloosa and win. I think I made a comment earlier about it being so weird seeing Vanderbilt, or it will be weird seeing Vanderbilt on the set of College Game Day.
Yeah.
Like the helmet.
with the helmet on there on the set.
Too bad Lee Corso won't be there to wear the Commodore fedora.
I know. I know.
That would be something. It is amazing. Did you guys watch the SEC shorts?
Yes. Yeah.
And they had a great one today where they were turning in their L's, and the secretary who was handing them out looked at a picture on where it ended, and it was the Commodore guy, and she was just like, "I miss him." Because he hasn't been there. He hasn't been there all year. They're 5-0. They're 5-0.
I haven't seen that one yet, but I'll have to go check that out. Those guys are so creative over there. They do a
they're
good job.
great. They're great.
They turn those skits around really, really well. Corey, thank you so much for joining us. You nailed it last week. We'll see if you'll nail it this week with a 3-point win.
I'm not foolish. Kalen DeBoer is an excellent football coach.
Absolutely.
He has won everywhere he's been, and he has a really tough job at Alabama in following up an icon is very difficult. And I mean, he knows his X's and O's. He knows how to coach. It's getting everybody to follow you and everybody to pull in the same direction. And, sometimes that can take a few recruiting cycles to get all your guys believing in you. And we'll see if they crossed a hurdle last week, but they crossed that hurdle last year before they played the Commodores and they knocked off Georgia.
That's true. That's true.
We'll see.
We'll see if they can be giant killers once again. They're giants.
They're the Giants now. What are you talking about? There's one undefeated team in this game.
I had giant killers, but they're the Giants themselves as well. It's a battle of Titans, a battle of real Titans there.
Don't say that. The Titans never win.
Corey, you're the best, man. We certainly appreciate it. Thanks for your time today.
Yeah.